Rowan was stumbling down the hall with several fabricated boxes full of decorations and dozens of gifts floating behind her. She has spent the last quarter diurnal fabricating everything and came close to overheating the poor fabricators. Now she has everything she needs and even managed to get half the crew involved. She could tell they were using the intranet to learn more about Christmas. She even caught several of them humming songs she hadn't taught them yet. It certainly was a load off her shoulders. She was starting to get sick of answering the same questions over and over again. Rowan stumbled into the communal chambers where everybody is at. They were all staring at what Rowan managed to put together. Rowan couldn't help grinning at the faces they were making.
Rowan,
Clicked.
you really did build a tree.
Well, I couldn't get a real one due to the fact the nearest human outpost is
Rowan calculated.
several hundred light years away. Well, if you manage to breach the galactic barrier without going up bigger than when the last star in these parts exploded, I didn't want to have Valop go that far off course and risk all your lives.
What of a planet that has something similar?
Asked.
That's even further away.
Rowan answered.
So I figured I'd do the next best thing. We rarely use real trees where I'm from anyway. Not good for the environment.
Nodded his shortest antennae in agreement.
So why are we all here?
Vexy asked.
Why is this artificial tree here? Why the food? Why the boxes?
Nobody told her?
Rowan asked, which earned her bashful looks.
Well,
Rowan opened up the boxes and held up some ornaments as she answered.
It's a tree trimming party.
what?
We decorate the tree, eat some food, sing, and have fun together.
Rowan explained.
I see.
Yeah.
Rowan grinned.
Now let's get decorating.
But first,
Valop cut in.
let us not get gifts mixed with decorations.
You're the captain.
Rowan shrugged.
Now,
Valop told Rowan while pointing to a huge table.
put the gifts there for now and the decorations on the ground.
Rowan did as she was told, even though it was obvious which was which. Once that was done, Rowan made that shrill noise with her mouth and fingers to get everyone's attention.
All right.
Rowan began.
We can start the tree trimming party by decorating the tree.
How does one decorate tree?
Beso the void-furred Diggling asked.
You just hang the decorations on the tree wherever you can reach.
Rowan smiled while holding up an object shaped like a star.
You hang the star on the top and some of the decorations go around the tree.
Valop interrupted.
The electric lights on strings and the shiny long bushes you humans call Garland both go around the tree.
Exactly.
Rowan smiled.
My family had a tradition of hanging food on the tree, and I intend to keep that alive. So, I made some sugar cookies.
You mean those delicious discs you made a few Cathurals ago?
Clicked excitedly.
She is hanging them on the tree, and they are not for eating.
Vexy scolded.
Mind if I have a few?
Asked. Vexy and everyone within earshot all glared at him in their ways. This made the soldier Chittini shrink a bit and add to what he said.
To hang on. The tree, of course.
He clicked haltingly.
Sure,
Rowan smiled.
but I'll have Vexy keeping an eye on you.
Vexy looked at with her ears flattened to her sides in doubt. If the Chittini could gulp, he probably would.
All right, everyone.
Rowan grinned.
Let's get decorating.
Everyone went to the boxes and started taking out decorations to put on the tree. Meanwhile, Valop was watching everything his crew did.
We need to put the lights on first.
He told everyone while taking out said decoration.
Rowan, would you mind helping?
Not at all.
Rowan answered while grabbing the lights.
Be careful with them.
Valop cautioned.
I know.
Rowan stated.
It's not the first time I've hung up lights.
Oh, right.
Valop projected his embarrassment.
Now, how about you make like these lights and lighten up?
Rowan advised.
You're gonna end up looking like Vax if you keep stressing like that.
Your advice has been noted and logged.
Valop pulsed.
I certainly hope so.
Rowan muttered while wrapping the lights around the tree. Rowan finished putting the lights on the tree and plugged them into a generator she fabricated. The crew was bathed in the multicolored glow of the lights and couldn't help staring. It was surprisingly striking seeing a glowing tree.
It'll look even better with the other decorations.
Rowan reminded them.
Let's start decorating.
The crew began hanging decorations all over the tree. They hung up ornaments, figurines, electric candles, cookies, and everything in between. Valip was still watching his crew like a new Denian who had too many kits. Speaking of kits, the Amber and Snow Vulpin kit took out a large ornament, the color of the shroud, and stared at it in awe.
Be careful, Vaspa.
Valop warned.
That is delicate.
Okay, Captain Valop.
The kit pulsed. It started to worry Rowan a bit, but she could see that Valop won't listen. She decided to let things sort themselves out, at least until Valop starts getting too unbearable. Besides, she had a few more boxes of decorations to open and hand out to everyone. Valop reached into one of the open boxes and pulled out the shiny long bush that Rowan calls Garland. It was tickling his paws, shined like gold, and was the color of rubies if the brightness was anything to go by.
Okay.
Valop pulsed nervously.
If my research serves, we must be careful not to tangle the garland. Would not want that.
Beso agreed as he grabbed the star and struggled to hold the object that was as big as him.
Oh, be careful.
Valop pulsed.
That star is...
What stopped Valop's panicked pulse was a horribly familiar sound. Rowan was giggling, and that never bodes well. Valop looked in her direction and saw Rowan looking into a box like a quosin that found an easy meal.
Well, hello there.
Rowan grinned excitedly.
It's a big box of Jingle Bells.
Rowan hung as many of those noisy spheres on her body as she could. She hung them with a speed that Valop didn't think was possible for a being Rowan's size. She also shouted at a volume that should belong to something far larger than her.
Now, this is what I call holiday spirit.
Rowan bellowed before lowering her voice a bit.
Let's break these bells in.
Rowan started to jerk her limbs in every direction that almost looked like dancing. Valop would normally ignore the obvious display of human senselessness, but she was dancing right towards him.
Row, when?
Valop stammered while dodging said human's jerky limbs.
The garland. Be careful. Row, when?
Normally, a surge like that would make Rowan wince, but she was enjoying herself too much to care. By the time Rowan danced away from Valop, he was protecting the garland with his body like a greedy earwing with its food.
All this dancing makes me feel
Rowan declared before beginning to sing.
like dancing through the snow.
Vaspa recognized the tune and joined in.
In a one-horse open sleigh. Over fields we go.
A Sanford Diggling sang while trying to hang ornaments. The Diggling lost his grip on the ornament and dropped it, which made him shout.
Smut.
Valop dove for the ornament and saved it while a few scattered Xenos sang.
Laughing all the way.
Valop hung the ornament and went back to get the garland. Just as he grabbed it, Rowan started dancing around him again. In his efforts to stop the senseless human, he began getting wrapped up in the garland he was trying to protect.
Bells on Rowan ring.
Rowan improvised as she danced away from an entangled Valop.
Row, when?
Valop's Psi-Aura sputtered,
Making spirits bright.
clicked melodically between bites of one of the cookies.
Science officer,
Vexy scolded.
drop that cookie.
Vexy turned to the Catini to snatch the addictive food away. Her tail smacked Beso, who was on a stepladder with the large star. The blow made him lose balance, and the poor Diggling was about to fall.
Oh, what fun to trim the tree.
Rowan improvised as she used the low gravity to her advantage and leaped upwards to save Beso. She grabbed hold of Beso and the star. Rowan sailed right over the tree and placed the star on top in one fell swoop. She landed on the other side of the tree with Beso safe in her grasp.
With all of my friends tonight.
She finished as she put Beso down. Rowan saw Valop tangled up and decided to quickly untangle him. She grabbed the end of the garland and yanked it with all she had. It proved to be too much as Valop spun around really fast as the garland was unraveled. Valop spun into a chair as more voices sang,
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Valop was dazed as he pulsed haltingly.
Row when. Fracking. Noisy spheres. Oh, what fun it is to ride.
More voices joined in.
Young ones are present, Captain.
Beso scolded, which made Valop flatten his ears in annoyance. His ears didn't stay down for long as he saw everyone singing around the tree.
In a one-horse open sleigh, hey?
The warm feeling returned when he saw everyone singing along with Rowan's song. He couldn't help curling his ears as he watched. The happiness from everyone involved in the singing was practically tangible.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
They all sang. Valop couldn't help joining in as they sang.
Oh, what fun to trim the tree with all my friends tonight.
They finished decorating the tree and eating what they were allowed in a third or two. Rowan placed the gifts under the tree with Valop's help. Rowan was relieved that Valop lightened up in the end. She only hopes that it'll stick as she turned in for the nocturnal.